Alright, let's dive into something that's both fascinating and a little eerie. Imagine this: Europe's second longest river, the Danube, is drying up due to extreme drought, and as the water recedes, it's revealing secrets from one of the darkest chapters in history: Nazi shipwrecks. Yes, you heard that right. Dozens of World War II warships, part of Hitler's Black Sea Fleet, are now sitting exposed on sandbanks that are usually underwater. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where nature forces us to confront the past in the most literal way possible. What makes this really interesting is that these ships were deliberately sunk by the Germans in 1944 to slow down the Soviet advance. But here's the thing: Nazi Germany didn't surrender until May 1945. So, these ships were essentially a last-ditch effort to buy time. In my opinion, it's a stark reminder of how desperate and chaotic the final months of the war really were. Now, let's talk about why these wrecks are still there. The Serbian government has tried to remove them in the past, but most remain untouched because, get this, they're still loaded with explosives. That's right, these ships are basically ticking time bombs, or at least they were. What many people don't realize is that these wrecks aren't just historical artifacts, they're also environmental hazards. If you take a step back and think about it, this raises a deeper question: how do we balance preserving history with ensuring public safety? It's not just about the ships, either. Other remnants of the war have surfaced along the Danube, like a German military motorcycle in Budapest and an unexploded 1,543-pound British bomb in Slovakia. That bomb had to be carefully transported and detonated in a 5-meter-deep pit. Crazy, right? But here's where it gets even more thought-provoking. The Danube flows through 10 countries, and its record-low water levels aren't just revealing shipwrecks, they're also creating a whole host of modern problems. Prolonged droughts have made the river nearly impossible to navigate, and many power plants that rely on the Danube for cooling are now facing an energy crisis. From my perspective, this is a perfect example of how climate change isn't just a future problem, it's here, and it's digging up the past, both literally and metaphorically. Intense summer heat and droughts are being supercharged by human-caused climate change, and Europe is feeling the effects in ways that are both historic and immediate. One thing that immediately stands out is how interconnected all of this is. The same climate crisis that's causing these droughts is also breaking temperature records across Central and Eastern Europe. Slovakia, Austria, and Hungary have all seen record-breaking heat this summer. A detail I find fascinating is that in Slovakia, a new national record of 42 degrees Celsius (108 degrees Fahrenheit) was set in a small village. What this really suggests is that the consequences of climate change aren't just environmental, they're historical, economic, and even existential. We're not just dealing with rising temperatures, we're dealing with the resurfacing of a painful past and the disruption of our present. So, what's the bigger picture here? Personally, I think this story is a powerful reminder of how the past and present are constantly colliding. These Nazi shipwrecks aren't just relics of a bygone era, they're symbols of the fragility of our world. As the Danube dries up, it's forcing us to confront not only the horrors of World War II but also the urgent need to address the climate crisis. If you ask me, that's the real takeaway here. We can't ignore the past, and we can't ignore the future. Both are knocking on our door, and it's up to us to figure out how to respond. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.